to the voice check. We plan to start commentary in a little while, in a few moments. If there's any problems on the voice, perhaps you'll just let me know. Nice to be with you. Leave it there, because I want to see how the time's going before kick-off. Hang on a minute, don't move with the bloody referee. There we are. Welcome to Azteca Stadium for the biggest occasion in the history of Mexican football, this Mexico-Belgium match, which will decide which of these two teams joins Russia in the quarterfinals. The atmosphere here is terrific. There is the Mexican team there. Their striker Lopez has failed a last-minute fitness test, which means that Padilla plays in the team. You can't quite see it on your caption, but Padilla will play an outside left flank striker instead of Lopez. But mere team changes are hardly on the minds of the 100,000 plus fans packing this stadium. Mexico have never qualified for the quarterfinals of the World Cup in 6 previous appearances in the World Cup finals. But this is their big opportunity to do so. They are favourites to at least draw here today, and a draw is all they need to qualify. And to qualify for the quarterfinals, the last 8 of the World Cup, on the one occasion they are staging the World Cup, is what all of Mexico City, all of the country of Mexico wants this team to do here today. The atmosphere, as I said, is absolutely terrific. The stadium has been packed for an hour or more. There's a marvelous quote from a Mexican commentator colleague who says that if Mexico draws or wins this match tonight, it will be the biggest fiesta ever in the history of Mexico City, and if they don't qualify, there'll be a revolution. Well, let's not forget Belgium. They're the underdogs here today, but they came with a good side. They haven't played well here. They've got their problems. There's their captain, Van Imp, on the left, in the white, one of Europe's most famous footballers with a lot of problems today. Belgium must win to qualify, and that would be a surprise result on the way things have been going for Belgium lately. They've got big problems they've got big problems today. Lambert and De Vrient are their two chief strikers. Lambert is out with injury. De Vrient has never acclimatized here, and he's left out. So Paul Van Imps there, just walking out of left of your picture, he's got to play the role of striker today. Belgium have had other problems in recent days. They've had a brawl in their practice match between Palernis, who's brought into the side today, and De Vrient, who's left out. There's a split in the camp over which make of football boots they wear. The story goes that Belgium out here in Mexico have been deciding which of their colleagues to pass to, according to who's wearing which boots, and that's hardly the right way to run a football team. The Belgian manager tells us that his team are packed. They are ready to go home, but this is their last chance. They have packed their bags, but they are on 80 pounds per man to get this win and qualify for the quarter-final. And Belgium are the sort of characters who could pull off a surprise. They're big, strong, and determined, and we shall soon see if they're going to pull it off. Your referee for today, Angel Carreza of the Argentine. And it'll be Mexico to kick off in a moment, playing right to left. Mexico in the dark strip. Belgium playing left to right in the all-white. Javier Fragoso, number 21, standing over the ball there for the beginning of the most important match in the history of Mexican football. And away they go. Mexico's biggest ever game in progress. Straight away it's Gonzalez setting up a move. Vantrola. Gonzalez. That's a good one for Pulido. That's a dangerous one straight away. What a nasty moment there for George Hayland. But he called up all the experience of his 50th cap. He gets his 50th cap today, number 2 for Belgium. And he saved that initial crisis. Van Moor on the ball. That's George Hayland playing his 50th game for his country today, and what an important match indeed. Van Moor, Hayland again, Belgium playing it cool. Stammeling chasing it, but he'll never catch it. And you can tell from the reception that the Mexican crowd gives that harmless Belgian move that there's only one team here they've come to support. Mexico. Vantrola, good ball to Fragoso. Kowalski policing him, letting it go for a goal kick. Christian Theo there, big handsome boy who needs a big handsome performance today if Belgium are to survive. Van Imps. Way back to Van Imps. Palernis there, not anticipating it. Belgian move breaking down again. The whistles from the big crowd. Both teams feeling each other out. Had some rain here today. The pitch should be in beautiful condition. It's not too hot. Pulido on the ball for Mexico. Semmeling. Palernis. Letting one fly there. Odeon Palernis, number 16 there. He was involved in that practice brawl with De Vrient. A talented player, but a fiery player. He needs a fiery performance today for Belgium's sake. Mexico playing it confidently enough. This is Vantrola. He's had a good series for Mexico in these 2 previous matches. Fragoso. Vantrola again. Pulido brought down there. First dangerous situation in Mexico's favor. Munguia standing over the ball. And it's Guzman who lets fly, and it was a good shot. It just rose a little too high. Javier Guzman. Christian Pio has kept his place in this Belgian goal despite the 4 goals Russia put past it. Payne, the captain, first to the ball there. Captain against captain, Valence against Payne. Payne wins it. That's a harmless ball. The big thing in Belgium's favour, of course, for this match is that the pressure is off them. Everyone now expects Mexico to get through, certainly everybody here in the country of Mexico. And so the pressure is off Belgium a little bit. The manager believes this could be a factor in their favour. The boys are at least relaxed, even though the facts are facts. Vansola having a good start to the game, Vansola. Fragoso, policed there by Duvalki. Throw into Mexico. Perez, the long one there. Duvalki's in trouble, but Jack was there to sweep up just as well. Van Himps putting Payne in trouble there. Payne hurt a little bit. Guzman has tied it up at the back though. No great danger. Free kick against Van Himps. Payne had to take it. Good ball from Toledo to Padilla. Padilla, one of the men who played for Mexico in 1966. That wasn't a good ball. There's a good shot there from Toledo. Again, the Mexicans bombing the Belgian goal early in this game. 5 minutes gone, and that's twice that Christian Pio has been happy to see fierce shots just a little too high. There it goes. Out to Toledo. He had it covered, but it was a shot of some merit. Vansola, clearly a right flank defender who likes to move forward. Payne, the captain, often sending him forward like he has now. Toledo. Guzman, he tends to stay back, Guzman. Not on this occasion though, there it goes. Not enough power in it. Mexico clearly intent on shooting on sight. Well, there you see the length of the punch that the goalkeepers can manage in this thin air. One bounce and it was in the other penalty area. Perez finding Munguia. Haven't seen much of Munguia yet, but he's a player who usually gets a lot of the ball. And there's Vansola being used again to set up an attacking move. Duvalki nearly read it wrong, but Czech tidying up at the back. Well, nobody down that left flank, and it enables Mexico to come away quite easily. Vansola again, getting a lot of the ball on this left flank. Perhaps Belgian Puy, their left flank raider, should be containing Vansola more. It's Semmeling. Van Himps. Toledo to Padilla. Munguia not quite onto that. Dox anticipated it well. Van Himps. Semmeling. Back to Halen. The whistles from the Mexican crowd even when Belgium attacks. Van Moor, nice piece of work by Wilfred Van Moor, who had such a good start to this competition, then faded against Russia. Thiessen, the big left fullback. Dox, who can play anywhere in the middle or the back. Van Moor. Good ball to Semmeling if he can get it quickly enough. He's got it. Perez laid off a bit fatally there. Good ball to Van Himps. Palernes losing it there to Guzman. Semmeling. There's Guzman. Big, strong back four man. Doing well for Mexico. Semmeling. Guzman again. Padilla. This boy can move. Halen's unlucky there, but Duvalk tidying up behind him. cheer from the crowd as Fragoso and Padilla bothered the Belgian defence there. Padilla with the throw for Mexico. Munguia. Fragoso against Jack, and Jack wins it. Great chance again there. Great chance for Fragoso. There you see it again. Got a clear-cut chance, but he really does his best, and Theo does well there. Goalkeeper does well. Docks to Thiessen. Good ball to Van Moor. Nicely played out of defence. Van Moor does the next part well. Docks again, linking up quickly. And the Belgians won't like this whistling just when they attack. That was the sort of treatment England have had up in Guadalajara. Now Belgium are getting it down here in Mexico City. 3 on the ball. Van Hent trying to get away there, but Gonzalez too good for him. But Belgium covering up. Padilla. It's 3 against 4 now. Good tackle by Van Moor. Gives Padilla trouble, even if it doesn't rob him. Padilla still has it. Gonzalez. Valdivia. Well, that was an unintelligent shot, I would have thought. Well, Tweed deserving the whistles from the crowd there. Wasting that ball. Controller with the throw for Mexico. Pulido. Good break by Pulido. Czech clearing up. Semmeling heading it forward to nobody. Belgium already short of front men. The pressure on them. Perez. Back to Perez. Munguia. The little dark bleak man. Number 8, the player to watch in this Mexican team. Perez, one of the back 4 men. Obviously, Mexico intent on pushing their back 4 men forward whenever possible. Chan Thiessen taking his time with the goal kick. Happened to ease off that spell of Mexican pressure. Underlining the point by taking his time even more. Not finding Munguia though. Van Moor has it. Van Moor hustled by Fragoso. Munguia's got it now, but it's a foul there against Fragoso. Free kick to Belgium. Referee Correza wants it taken from the proper place, and Van Moor gets the game in motion. Bread and butter pass to Semmeling. Nothing very penetrative, and Semmeling wastes the ball there. Padilla away. It's dangerous. Fragoso and Padilla. Padilla crying out for it. Gets it. Munguia. Gonzalez. Mansola on the overlap. Helen had heard the whistle go already. Mexicans thought it was the most obvious penalty there's ever been, but no danger. Van Imp. Played for his country at the age of 16, Van Imp. Padilla. Mexico applying the greater pressure now, that's quite clear. 12 minutes gone. Van Moor. Dobbs. Thiessen. Big left fullback. That was a dangerous ball, but luckily enough, Van Moor got to it quickly. Padilla. Elegant player, this Padilla in full flight. Munguia. Pulido, strong midfield man. Mansola moving up on the right. Well, Pulido incurring the disappointment of the big crowd there with another harmless shot by Mexico. Mexico pressing well, shooting rather naively, I would have thought. Semmeling. A good one for Van Imps. What a great little chip. Van Imps holding the ball, waiting for support. Polonis, Sameling, the third man. What a good run that was. Very unlucky to slip over there. Pure bad luck. He's got past the defense. Mexico in luck and in possession through Munguia. Gonzalez, fair-headed midfield player. Vontola yet again moving up into attack on the right. Valdivia, two-goal man against Salvador last Sunday. Valdivia there, the player on the deck. ADA Valdivia. Free kick to Mexico. See if they can make better use of this one. Vantola to take it. Fragoso and Valdivia, the only two men in the box though. A little outnumbered, I would have thought. Terrible mistake there. Terrible mistake by Van Moor. Saved by Czech. He got illegally the penalty. It looks as though he's given it. Gonzalez calling for the stretcher. Valdivia, the man on the deck. There you can see it. This is the first big penalty dispute of the World Cup. Czech's tackle went in like a tornado. Valdivia went down. The referee Correza has clearly made his decision, and from the fact that it's Belgium doing the protesting, it looks mighty clear it's a penalty. 15 minutes gone. Christian Pierre, there, see it again. There goes Czech's tackle in on Valdivia. Is it intentional? He seems to play the ball first. There. The Belgian players still surrounding officials while Valdivia is being attended to by the medical men. He's up on his feet now. I must say, from the replay, it did not look as though Valdivia was intentionally crunched down, or rather it looked as though Czech definitely went for the ball there and played it first, and it's Padilla to take the kick. He's placed it anyway. Valdivia there showing his leg to one of the Belgian players as if to say, well, that's where I got damaged, but from that replay, it looked to me as if Leon Czech definitely played the ball first. The law says that if it's an intentional foul, it's a penalty. Well, you had two chances to see it, and now you'll have certainly one chance, and I don't doubt two chances to see this penalty. 15 minutes gone. This could be the goal that decides Mexico's place in the quarterfinals for the first time ever. Gustavo Pena, the man standing over it, the captain of Mexico, has taken on this big responsibility. Penalty kicks are not too difficult unless there are 100,000 of your countrymen praying that you put it in. Here we go. It's there. I've never seen a penalty taken better than that. Right foot. More protest by the Belgians. The referee only wants to do one thing, that's put the ball on the penalty spot for the game to be resumed. Angel Correza, the Argentinian referee, records the goal after 16 minutes. Pena penalty. There we are, a beautifully taken penalty. With the right instep pushed into the goalkeeper's left. The game is in motion again now. Belgium are a goal down. The big crowd's happy, but Belgium will be unhappy about that penalty. Sameling, can they get back in this game now? They've got to win it to survive. That means they must score at least 2 goals. Well, that was a wild-looking clearance there. Mexico needs some calm football now. They played themselves into a winning position. This is where they need to show their pedigree and settle down and play good football. They've got just the early start every team prays for. Free kick taken by Mario Perez. An indirect free kick. Guzman takes the kick. That'll be to Keeson there clearing, but again Belgium not linking up. Their clearances are not finding their front and middle men. That must be a free kick against Keeson there. Belgium really angry, piling into the tackle here. Keeson's gone down. Well, there's 3 Belgian attendants there on the pitch. There's only supposed to be 2. Referee Correza's got his hands full in this game, that's clear. Belgium, a team who can play it hard when their spirit's up. They had 2 players sent off on the way to Mexico. Until now in this competition, they've had nobody even booked. They've played it hard but clean. But that penalty has been given against them for a really hard tackle in their box. I can see their manager, Ray Goethals, on the pitch there, indicating to his team to calm down. Big John Keeson there, hobbling around. He's the sort of man Belgium will want to keep into this game. He's had a good World Cup, big, strong man. Well, this is an important game, and it's certainly packed with action. Manchola with the free kick for Mexico. Lerner's cleared that one well. Guzman on the ball. Turning it inside to Peña. Mexico finding a lot of space and making a lot of progress down this right flank. Peña. Munguia. Semling there, back helping out his defense. Dox, Van Moor. Well, Van Him's never had a chance of getting that one, and the hoots and jeers up from the big crowd. Manchola with the throw for Mexico. Mexico on top in this game, making a lot of progress down that right side. They obviously worked out a gap in the Belgian formation in midfield there. Perhaps they've discovered that Belgium not linking up well from their back 4 men to their midfield men and front men on that left side, because Manchola, the right full back, and Gonzalez and Valdivia are making a lot of progress down there, but this is Dox sending Belgium away. Manchola, good turn and clearance. Divalka tidying up behind Keeson there, finding Van Moor. Van Moor being very heavily shadowed by the Mexicans, but he's turned into some space now and found Pui with a good ball. Peña, not a very good clearance, Semling onto it. Peña again. Belgium slow to move on to that loose ball there, but they've still got it. Palance, Polernis, a good turnout to Semling, who can't quite catch it. Semling indicating to Polernis it was a good intention. Perez. Manchola once again being used to move up on that right flank. Belgium should be putting somebody on this fullback. He's having far too much freedom. Toledo. Gonzalez calling for it outside right, but it's Fragoso. To Valdivia. What a great shot! Hit the post. Great shot there from Valdivia with his left foot. Very nearly Mexico's second goal. Pio completely beaten. There he is, Valdivia, the man brought down for the penalty and nearly scoring the second. Toledo to Guzman. Good ball to Gonzalez, turned on. Fragoso not in position, but Gonzalez is again. Away comes Dox. Van Him is the man with the responsibility for Belgium. We've got plenty of men in the area if he can get the centre in. Not a good centre at all. Toledo and Van Hims were there, but we merely found the goalkeeper. Toledo. Munguia calls for it, gets it. Gonzalez in a good position over on the right flank, but Munguia doesn't believe he can squeeze the pass through. Padilla. Nice turn by Padilla. Mungia. Good move this by Mexico. Now Gonzalez gets it on the right. Well cleared by Dibalka. Manitz picking it up. Nice turn to Pui. Back to Dox. And again, unsporting whistling by the Mexican crowd. Nearly when Belgium were in attacking possession. Good ball to Samling. But can he make progress? These three men queuing up to pick up the ball. Pulido having a good game in a withdrawn midfield position. That's Mungia being caught by Polonis. Valens working over towards Valens. Tried to turn it back inside to Dox. Dox had moved there, but the pass from the man didn't link up. Good work there by Fragoso. Must be a free kick, I would have thought. Foul on Fragoso. One of the central strikers coming back to make space and succeeding. See the size of these Mexican back four men. They're all big, strong men, and that's what you need at the heart of the defense. This is Fragoso. Mungia. Padilla. Dibalka, terrible mistake there. Valdivia tries to find Mungia for what would have been a gift goal. Unlucky Mexico there. They did it right. It didn't quite come off. We on the ball for Belgium. Now this is Dox. Polonis. George Hayden. Samling. Samling, a man who can take on players and beat them. Van Moor. That's a good one. Van Hens couldn't quite get to it. It was 2 against 1 again. Belgium short of men in the box at the end of their attack. Captain Peña turning it inside to Pulido. Peña quick up there. Good anticipation. Mexico still in possession. A goal up. 25 minutes gone. And Mexico threatening to get a second goal any moment. They've almost scored twice in the last few minutes. They're moving the ball well. Thiessen. Puig. Van Moor. Helen. Dox. Oh, good anticipation there by Guzman. Mungia to Valdivia. Gonzalez. Switches it to Padilla. Padilla's got to attack them because it's too cramped at the moment. Mexico still got it. Gonzalez. Fragoso throwing it away. Czech easily tidying up there. And whistles this time from the Mexican side against their own players. Peña. Semmeling. Peña again. The Belgian strikers not putting half enough pressure on these big, strong Mexican back four men. Belgium short of striking power today. That's quite obvious. Halen anticipated that well. Van Hens won't catch it. Perez there. Good the throw for Mexico. Calderon, the most unworked goalkeeper in this group so far. Mantola. Gonzalez. Semmeling. Van Hens. Polonis. It's 3 against 6, and they're even running into each other, these Belgian players. Samling with the throw for Belgium. Polonis not doing it badly at all. Cut off by Guzman. George Haylen moving in there. Padilla back helping out. Haylen's getting the cross half across. Thiessen in quick there. Good move by Thiessen. Anticipated. Got in hard and quickly. Dox back to Thiessen. Puig. Cox, it's on if he can get a shot in. Guzman again. Guzman having a very good game at the heart of the Mexican defense. Van Moore. Looks like Pena down there injured. There's Van Moore. Made nothing of that at all. Looks like Pena down on the floor there. That's the third injury in this game. It's a hard game, an important game, and Mexico are leading it at the moment, 28 minutes gone. It's little Munguia, in fact, who's down there, back helping out during that first dangerous period of Belgian pressure in this game. Antonio Munguia, the dapper midfield hub of the Mexican attack, is recovered, and Pena will get the game back in action with a free kick for Mexico. Guzman, Perez, Gonzalez. That's Munguia. Shows to make it one away. Good little run brought down by Van Moore. Munguia injured again. Referee Correza could well start talking to Belgium about this. Gonzalez, Ventrola. Got Valdivia outside him. Let's Valdivia have it. Valdivia gives it away. Puig coming away for Belgium. Good ball inside to Dox. Van Moore. The Belgium being harried and chased by these Mexican midfield men, which is slowing Belgium down, making their attack a little pedantic. That's Baptiste there. Van Hempt might just catch it. Offside, in fact, against Van Hempt. Free kick against Fragoso there. Dox on the ball for Belgium. Van Moore. Perez. Pena. This Mexican defense looking much too strong for the depleted Belgian attack. Raul Lambert there, the man who's been scoring for them in this competition. He's out with a knee injury. Johan de Vrint, their leading scorer before they came here, hasn't been able to acclimatise and find fitness and form. So Belgium short of firepower and looking like it. Valdivia there, dangerous man in possession. It's decent who gets it away, but only to Pena. Ventrola. Dox. Polenis not on the end of that one. Guzman. Pena. George Hayden. Sugalka. Got Polenis on the right flank, but he's shadowed and the angles are narrowed down and he can't get it through, so it's out to Puig on the left. Puig against Ventrola. Puig taking him on. Puig still in possession. Little chip there. Guzman again, the defender getting the boot to it. Padilla showing good control. Back to Perez. Padilla again. Again showing the ability to beat his man and make progress. But that wasn't a good pass. Dox is away. Got Polenis inside him. Well, that wasn't a bad shot by Polenis. It was a screw shot. He hit it with the outside of his shot, of his boot, flicked it, and it swerved and gave Calderon a little trouble. Puig with the corner for Belgium. Wilfried Puig, one of the more experienced players in this Belgian side, but the Belgian side not making much impact. Calderon flicking it away to Gonzalez. In fact, it's Padilla, the other fair-headed boy in this team, just the two of them. Mungia, Belgium want a free kick for hands, and they get it. Jean Semmeling on the ball. Likes to strike, but has had to drop back and do a lot of midfield work for Belgium in this competition. A nice little flick indeed, but Guzman, once again, number 14, having such a good game for Mexico, had anticipated that, and instead of Van Hempt getting a header, Guzman was able to save the day. He had to concede a corner, but it was good defensive work. Semmeling with the corner again for Belgium there. A goal down, 34 minutes gone. Perez it was who got it away that time. Mungia on the ball, he's got Valdivia outside him. Mungia in position for a touchback, there he goes. Manzola. Polido. There's another of these big Mexican men. Mexicans, people think of them as small, squat men, but Mexico have built themselves a big, strong football team here in the important places. That's at the back, and a big man in midfield, Polido. Well, Belgium, a goal down, have been exerting rather more pressure in the last 15 minutes. It hasn't been telling pressure, but it is pressure. There's Palernis there, but again it peters out. Gui, nice left foot, but pushes onto his right, but wants to get it back onto his left again. You see, cost him possession in the end, not prepared to hit the ball with his left good foot. Pena, the captain there, well in command at the moment. Pena quickly on, please there. Mexico quicker to the ball. Manzola, a nice turn inside to Gonzalez. Ivalka. Oh, that was almost a bad ball, and Mungia almost made him pay for it. Cox manages to pick it up. Thiessen. Pena again clearing. But Belgium certainly pressing at this stage. Certainly keeping the play in Mexico's half of the field. Perez. Cox too strong for him. Coming away down the right. Got Semmeling in front of him. Gives it to Semmeling. Semmeling, two men there. Guzman got the touch. It is a corner. Note the number of times, though, Guzman prevents this ball getting into a dangerous position in the Mexican box. Semmeling with the corner for Belgium. Van Hemp's nearly up to it, not quite. Too much of a lone battler. He's having to do it on his own in the middle of the box there. Van Moor, good ball to Semmeling. That's a nice one. If Palernis can catch it, does so. Chance there for Palernis himself. Had to hit it quickly. Hit it hard, but hit it too high. Odilon Palernis, second highest scorer for Belgium on the way to Mexico. Manzola, back to his goalkeeper. Switching the side of pressure, taking Belgium one way, then across to the other. Perez in possession. Mexico clearly slowing it down at this stage, trying to ease Belgium out of this spell of pressure that Belgium have exerted in the last 15 minutes. Cox into trouble there, played himself into trouble. Valdivia to Pulido to Mungia. Manzola. Mexico definitely slowing it down at this stage. Pulido. Guzman. Perez. Perez again. Losing the ball, trying to do too much. Semmeling. Palernis. He's got Van Imps down on the right. There it goes, but Van Imps a little slow to move. Palernis again. Van Imps. Semling. That's a good ball to Van Moor. Shapes to shoot, changes his mind, and when he does shoot, he stops the ground. How unlucky can you be? Manchola, once again, the man they give the ball to over on the right to make progress down that flank. Gonzalez, haven't seen all of him lately. Mungia. Manchola. Padilla wanders right over to the right flank. Nice piece of work by Mungia, losing Docs. Padilla wants to put it onto his left foot. He wants to get it onto his left, being a left winger. Manchola. Mungia's unmarked. Hayden's got up there well. Good nod down there to Dubravka. Semling, but again Van Impe on his own up front. This is Hayland trying to add weight to the attack. Polonis. Taking on men well. Pulido doing well there. Hayland has it though. Belgium is still applying this pressure. Van Impe. Van Moor. Semling. Knocked off there by a Mexican defense which crowds and shadows and shoves and pushes and finally wins the ball time and again. Corner kick though. Belgium's fifth corner kick in this spell of pressure since they went a goal down. Perhaps Mexico content to settle back and look for counter-punch strikes. What can they make of this corner? Well, no one got to the end of that one, did they, for Belgium? Yet again, Belgium being out-jumped by this big, tall, strong Mexican defense. Gonzalez called for it, couldn't quite get it. Van Moor's got it. A beautiful ball to Semling, but Perez put Semling under pressure there. Looks as though he might have conceded a free kick. The linesman's indicating an offence. Free kick to Belgium. Well, Valdivia will get into trouble if he doesn't let Semling take this free kick properly. Semling pointing it out. Van Moor will take the free kick. Polonis and Van Impe in the box there. No trouble at all for Calderon. Peña, the captain, made it so easy for him by jumping up in front of Van Impe. And away come Mexico. A goal up and not looking in too much trouble. Peña, Pulido, Manchola, Fragoso. Gonzalez, deep passing by Mexico, finding the men in tight spaces. As Padilla, he switched wings with Valdivia. A good ball to Mungia. Guzman. He watched it very carefully indeed. There's Guzman, the big back four man. Mexico very quick to turn their defenders into raiders. Theo with the goal kick for Belgium. Guzman again to Pulido, to Peña, moving the ball across field, pulling Belgium across, making them run, knowing Belgium's stamina has been suspect in this thin air of Mexico City. Pulido, Manchola, Padilla, shadowed by his co-left winger. Manchola with the throw. Pulido completely unmarked, gets it. Docs making it difficult for him though. Back to Peña. Guzman. Gonzalez's ball wasn't good enough. Belgium come away now. Louis. That was a dangerous ball, gave Vantola the chance to get in there. He did get in, but couldn't quite control the ball. It's Vantola, a fullback who likes to move up. Decent. Two dogs. But these Mexico midfield players are making it so difficult for the Belgian players in possession. Pulido and Gonzalez are really getting through a lot of work with Mungia in cutting out the angles that the Belgian players have to pass the ball in. Making it so much easier for these back four men like Guzman on the ball now to command the Belgian strikers. Gonzalez. That's a good ball to Fragoso. He's got space. Padilla. Valdivia running in on it. He has just managed to get to it in time before Fragoso. Guzman. What a good dummy that was. What a good switch of direction by Pulido to Peña. Deep pass to Mungia. Palernes. There's Gonzalez, making it difficult for Palernes, shadowing him and enabling, as I was saying, enabling Peña to collect the ball through his leg. That's the secret of Mexico's success, the willingness and ability of their midfield men to work hard and make it difficult for Belgium when Belgium do have the ball, which is not all that often. Vantola. Padilla. Fragoso. Vantola. That's the one criticism of Mexico. They're not being ambitious enough and going for a second goal. A second goal, what they want, particularly, because if they win this game by 2 goals, they top the section and can stay here and play their quarterfinal in Mexico City. If they only finish second to Russia, Russia already qualified. If they only finish second, Mexico would have to leave this big stadium and big crowd and go and play in Toluca. So Mexico are first looking to win or draw this match to qualify, and secondly, to win it by 2 goals to stay here for their quarterfinal. Well, they've done half of the job. Pulido to Gonzalez. Got Vantola on outside him. Vantola gets it. The ball running down the white line and collecting some chalk. Padilla. Vantola. And that is the end of the first half with the half-time score, a 1-0 to Mexico. A goal scored by Peña after 16 minutes, a penalty, a controversial penalty, a check tackle on Valdivia, got the ball, but it also brought Valdivia down, and Peña took the penalty most perfectly after long and prolonged and angry Belgian protest. Well, Belgium then came back and applied a lot of pressure, gained 5 corners, but there was only one difficult chance to Palernes, and he knocked it over the top. And the Mexico midfield men are gaining control of this match again for Mexico, and at that stage, 1-0 to Mexico, we lead you. Well, welcome back to Azteca, and there is Bazaguren, number 20 for Mexico, a substitute brought in at this half-time stage. Bazaguren is on. I would guess it's Padilla who will be taken off. So in fact, Padilla is on the field, so it's another of the Mexico forwards who will have been taken off. Mexico, of course, a goal up from this in the first half of this very important game for Mexico, the most important game in the history of Mexican football, because if they win it or draw it, they reach the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time in 7 attempts. The atmosphere here in the Azteca Stadium is absolutely tremendous. If Mexico win this, Mexico City tonight will be the biggest fiesta of all time. Belgium a goal down, a disputed penalty. They walked out somewhat pensively up out of the tunnel for this second half. They're going to play right to left in the white shirts. Mexico playing left to right in the dark strip. Red shirts and black shorts and black stockings. Not yet clear which of the Mexicans has had to stay behind in the dressing room, but big number 20, Bazaguren, is definitely on the field. He came in against Salvador and scored a goal. Belgium now 45 minutes away from exit from the World Cup as Vanit, their captain, sets them in motion. That's Polonis, Dwee, Van Moor, George Hayden, the fullback. He'll have to push up more in the second half if Belgium are to get a goal. They need to, of course. Belgium have got to win to qualify. Russia already in the quarterfinals. Over 100,000 people here looking for only one result. A Mexico win if possible by 2 goals, because that means that this big crowd would be able to see their team play their quarterfinal here at this stadium instead of going to the much smaller Toluca Stadium. A good ball for Bazaguren to run on to. Devalka there challenging him, but it's George Hayden picking it up. Van Moor. Christian Theo there, the Belgian goalkeeper, who was completely beaten by a very well-taken penalty by Peña, but the big question, should it have been a penalty in the first place? But it's in the net, it's in the book. Mexico a goal up. Perez on the ball for Mexico. Bazaguren, a big strong man, fouled in fact George Hayden there, and a little bit of argy-bargy between them, a little bit of foot lifting and threatening. Referee Correza wants it taken again. And you can see there's no love lost between Hayden and Bazaguren during those 2 seconds. Van Moor on the ball. Hayden again. Bazaguren going after him. Pushing and shoving again there. Semling. Polonis. Van Moor. A good cross, but nobody on the end of it. Van Solo's got plenty of time. In fact, gives away a rather needless corner kick there. Van Solo, who had such a good first half. Well, corner kicks Belgium have had in plenty in this match, but the likelihood of a goal not very often. Oh, bad punch by Calderon. Polonis has a chance to shoot. Doc shoots. Blocked on the line. Semling shot there, blocked on the line. Well, that was a clear shave for Mexico, and 100,000 plus people breathe again. It's Gonzalez. Well, that'll put new life into Belgium. There's Doc. The Mexican defense looking a little rattled for the first time in this game. There's Peña, the captain, issuing some orders. Free kick to Belgium. Can Belgium now get back into this game and perhaps have to unpack the luggage they packed before this game? Guzman heading away. Guzman often the savior in the Mexican defense in this game and in this competition so far. We with a throw. Polonis. Vanit rather. Running it over for in fact, a corner kick again given by Van Sola. Free with the corner. Van Hips nearly caught Calderon in trouble there. The Mexican goalkeeper came out, hesitated, and Van Hips nearly got a clean header at it. Fragoso. Gonzalez. Padilla. Mongia there, almost tripped by Dox. Polito. Padilla. Pasiguran. Padilla. Goal kick. Pasiguran, in fact, is on for Javier Valdivia, which can only be for injury. Valdivia took a couple of hard knocks in the first half, but was having a very good game. He was the man brought down for the penalty, and Valdivia was the man who hit a post with another very good shot, so it's quite clear it's Pasiguran for Valdivia on injury causes. And the chants really bombing out from this massive crowd in this beautiful stadium now. Chants of encouragement for their team. Chants of encouragement because Belgium are beginning to look a little more dangerous, and perhaps this big crowd senses their team needs some encouragement down there. Divalka in a little bit of trouble here, Pasiguran, and Divalka gets it back to his keeper very well indeed and gets the return ball. Nice piece of work by Divalka. Hayden's pushing forward. Belgium have got to push forward and look for goals in the second half. Otherwise, it's goodbye Mexico for them. Van Sola. Padilla. Van Moor. Good ball. Van Hips. Got Semmeling outside him. Gives it. Semmeling attacks Perez. Perez is managed to prevent Semmeling getting away, but at the expense of another corner. Belgium have won many more corners than Mexico in this match. The crowd whistles. Semmeling takes the kick. Calderon not under pressure. Nobody challenging him in the air. A disappointing end to that promise for Belgium. Padilla. Fragoso avoiding that tackle by Dox well. Mungia. Gonzalez. Got Padilla outside him, gives it. Will Padilla attack or center? He's attacking, doing it well. Finds his man nicely, Fragoso! And what a magnificent save by Pio from Fragoso! Marvellous football. See it again. Padilla attacks. In it goes. Fragoso turns. Hits it in a magnificent full stretch save. Well, that set this stadium alight. Padilla with the corner. Fragoso touches it across. In comes Gonzalez. This kicks it. Van Hips glad to collect this one and settle Belgium down. That was nearly the second goal Mexico want to top this group. Van Hips. Well, it was an ambitious pass. Dox made it come off for him, but foul by Mungia on Dox. Brave work by Dox there, diving in on that, getting kicked, but getting a free kick. Van Moor. Well, this game is coming alight now. It's never been anything but interesting, and it's now really getting exciting. Van Moor, because Belgium clearly haven't said goodbye to Mexico yet. Tweet. Van Sola not giving him any room. Two of them there shadowing this man, making it difficult for him to find an accurate avenue for a pass. Finally can only hook it wide of the goal. Good defensive covering by Mexico. Calderon there, who's looked a bit unhappy on a lot of these cross balls. Perez. Finding Pulido. Semling putting him under pressure. Perez has to start all over again. Pena, the captain. Looking for Gonzalez. Finds him. Nice ball. Fragoso doesn't get hold of it. Van Moore does. Turns. Looking for Puy on the left. Turns again. Switching the direction of attack. Keeping Mexico guessing. Keeping possession. Van him. Coming away from Pena nicely. Puy. Losing it again. Vantola playing Puy very well in this game. Puy getting away almost, but Vantola again saving the situation. Thiessen, the big fullback. A little close. Puy, a nice ball for Thiessen. Turns beautifully. Touches it. Fernandez over the top. What a good move. What a disappointing end to it. Well, Belgium builds a beautiful move there. There's the replay. Thiessen, the big fullback, attacking into the area. Fernandez having to hit it quickly over the top. Great football. The crowd appreciating it, particularly the end result of that piece of football. The ball not finishing in the Mexican net. That's the last place this big crowd wants to see it. Vantola. Padilla, having to play on this right wing, will obviously have been happier on the left, but with the loss of Valdivia, he's moved over to the right. Mungia. Pulido. Padilla calling for it, but what a good shot. What a good shot from 25 yards. Big Pulido, the tough midfield man. Well, the chants are booming out now, and the nearer we get to the end of this match, the earlier the fiesta will begin in Mexico City. It was bad enough the other night after they beat El Salvador. Goodness knows what it'll be like tonight. Pulido. Vantola. Pulido again. Mungia. Nice ball to Gonzalez. He takes up good positions, this Gonzalez. Not a bad shot. There's Gonzalez, number 17. Semling rather. Van Hemst, the Belgian captain, who will have to try and pull something out of the bag now if Belgium are to take any further part in this World Cup after today. Fernandez diving in there, and a vicious tackle in there by Guzman. They both got kicked. They're still arguing about it. Fernandez standing over him. Referee Correza sorting it out. The free kick against Guzman for the original tackle. Semling. Nice little ball. Semling cuts it back. Vantola clears. Dox. Weak shot blocked by the inevitable Guzman. Jack. Thiessen. Got Puig outside it, but try something more ambitious. Pena. Pulido. Gonzalez fighting it for it there. Thiessen fighting for it. Another free kick against Mexico. The referee beginning to adjudge this Mexican defensive work as illegal. We're getting to the boiling point of this match now. 60 minutes gone. This is the stage when Belgium badly need an equalizer. Mexico don't want to let them have it. We with a free kick. Four-man wall. Dox hits it a mile wide. And the whistles reverberate and echo around this bowl here. Dox must be feeling a very unhappy man. Guzman. Referee wants the... He's going to perhaps book him for time wasting. A warning to Calderon to not waste time. Referee quite right. Palermo is in on that much too quickly. This game beginning to simmer and bubble. Tempers getting frayed. People getting hurt. The tackles sliding in. Perez on the floor there. That was Palermo who dug in there. Palermo who found himself kicked by Guzman a few moments ago. The plot is thickening. Palermo is not the sort of fellow who likes to be kicked. He was a player suspended in Belgium earlier this year. He was involved in the practice match brawl. A fiery player, a talented player. Perez back in action. Branmore. And Perez coming in quickly there. There's no lack of gumption in these Mexican men. If they're hurt, they get up and they come back hard. Nothing delicately Latin about this Mexican team at the back. Palermo's offside there. Must be offside. And there's trouble down there again. Palermo and Pina, the Mexican captain there. Pina making the sign which indicates he doesn't think too much of Palermo's thinking. Palermo's fighting a one-man war against this Mexican defense. The referee having a word with him. Having his name taken. Very much looks there as if Palermo's had his name taken. Also, Pena is having his name taken. They're both getting the yellow disc. Meanwhile, Perez is over on the other side injured. This game hasn't boiled over yet, but it's boiling up. Perez, twice injured in the last few minutes. Palermo is involved in all these incidents. Belgium can't say that Palermo is really getting into this battle. Referee Correza sets the game in motion. Free kick to Mexico. Decent. Gonzalez against Dox. Gonzalez, a good intelligent move away from the ball and nod down to Padilla. Nice ball inside to Polido. Got Munguir on the left. Munguir gets it. Good interception by Divalca. Perez to Polido. Divalca again. Divalca being harried by Gonzalez. The referee by Bazagurin, in fact. Number 20 there, the half-time substitute by Mexico for the injured Valdivia. Bad free kick there by Jack. Decent. To Puy. Vantrola quickly on to Puy, making life difficult for this left winger. There he is, stopping Puy again. Vantrola, number 13, having a very good game for Mexico, taking the throw. Check. Good ball control there. Good pass. Dox. Can't get it through to Puy. Gonzalez chasing and harrying like all this Mexico team. Puy. Cut out beautifully by Vantrola. Padilla to Fragoso. Puy. Dox. Good work by Dox. Attacked the defenders, made the break. Van Moore in possession. Good ball to right fullback Halens. Let Semmeling have it. Guzman there, on to Polonis, too quickly for Polonis. Guzman having a fine game at the heart of the Mexican defense. Another playing being booked there. It's not being booked, in fact it's De Vrient was reporting to the referee, so Johan De Vrient is on for Belgium. And that's him, number 9. Guzman clearing. Munguia, good ball to Fragoso. Another return ball to Munguia, another ball to Fragoso. A little bit too tight. Doc's coming away. Free kick, in fact, to Mexico. Players hurt. Players are reeling and falling down every minute or so in this game now. Mexico trying to get the game away, but the referee wants this player attended to. And on comes a veritable horde of Belgian officials, and they're only allowed 2. Referee Careza is supposed to see that there are only 2 officials on the pitch at any one time from any one team. So, Belgium have brought on Johan De Vrient, leading scorer with 6 goals out of the 14 Belgium scored to get past Yugoslavia and Spain to get to Mexico. But De Vrient, who has not come off out in this hot climate and thin air, but they brought him on now after 25 minutes of the second half to see if he can sort something out. And there's more trouble going on down there. This referee is having a lot of trouble keeping this game under control. He's just about managing it, though. And now we're going to see some football now. This is Gonzalez. Munguia. Mexico still want this second goal to top this group. Munguia, a great through ball for Gonzalez, but he couldn't quite get on the end of it. Just had a little bit too much room to have to make. Here, the Belgian goalkeeper. De Vrient. Good nod down to Semmelane. Chance here for Van Imps. De Vrient offside according to the linesman. Referee accepts it. Johan De Vrient there, number 9. Fragoso. Big Pulido. Padilla wants it, gets it. Is he going to attack? He likes to. There he goes. Pulling Keaton across. A good turn with his right foot, which is not his best one. Vansola trying to find Padilla, but not angling the overhead kick enough. So into Belgium, who are still pushing forward in this match, but they're a goal down. They've got to win it to survive. Decent with the throw. 21 minutes to go. Another free kick to Belgium there. 3 to take it. Here it comes. Up goes De Vrient. Calderon gets it away. Palens hooks it back. Bennett tries to save it, but it's already gone. Pena there, kicked the ball away, looking as though Mexico are trying to save time. There's Belgium, the most famous footballer in Belgium, now very much in need of a famous piece of inspiration of his side are to get these 2 goals they need to stay in Mexico. Calderon with the goal kick for Mexico. Mazagurin, Fragoso failing to control it. Pui, Van Moor losing it. Van Imps. Good ball. Semmelane in space. Got Pui outside him. Van Imps and De Vrient in the box waiting for the cross. He's going to let one go. Blocked off by Pulido. Van Troller getting it away. And it's Polonis who was getting into so much trouble in the Belgian side with the referee and with the Mexican players, who has been taken off to allow De Vrij to come on. So Polonis, who was finding himself in trouble with just about everybody, is now back in the dressing room, and De Vrij is on to try and pull this game out of the fire for Belgium. Free kick to be taken by Semmeling, indicating that Perez won't get far enough away. Collar on a bad punch there. He has not looked happy faced with his crossballs. The Mexico goalkeeper has the reputation of being the second best to Mazurkiewicz of Uruguay, second best in South America, but hasn't looked that way today. Gonzalez got Bazagurin over on the left. He's got Padilla on the right. He lets one go well wide of target. There's Gonzalez. Not a good shot, but he's having a good game. Hayden, chased by Bazagurin. Bazagurin winning it. Good defensive work there by the forward, Bazagurin. The sort of player you need. Everybody prepared to work for everybody in all parts of the pitch, and Mexico have done that this afternoon. Bazagurin. Gonzalez wants it. A good ball to Padilla. Attacking Thiessen here. Going past him. But a good recovery tackle by Thiessen. Corner kick. Big roar from the crowd. Opportunity for Mexico to get this second goal that they need to lead the group and play their quarterfinal here in Azteca. If it's a 1-0 win, well then it's a toss-up as to who finishes top. Munguia, nice turn inside to Pulido. Fragoso, back to Pulido. Well, Pulido was lucky to have that come back to him there, but he didn't make use of the second chance either. Perez, Munguia, challenged by Van Moor. Gonzalez back to Peña. Bazagurin nodding it on well. Fragoso going in, Thiessen going in. Thiessen hooks it clear of Fragoso. Gonzalez, a good header down to Padilla. But Fragoso had moved away. Padilla thought Fragoso was still there. And Pio survived. Van Himp. Playing his 51st game for Belgium. It's going to end with an unhappy ending if things stay as they are. Check. Van Moor. Van Moor having to play so deep to prevent these Mexican midfield men taking control. Good ball there to Van Imp. But Pulido shutted him all the way. Van Imp's not given any room there at all by Pulido and not controlling the ball well enough anyway. Thiessen. Munguia. Bazagurin. Substitute Bazagurin having a good game. Not that time though. Good tackle by Hayden. Munguia, nice ball across to Gonzalez. Pulido. Munguia. Gonzalez again in his advanced midfield position from which he's picked up so much ball. Padilla. Van Troller, the fullback. Hayden touching it down nicely there. Bazagurin was behind him He couldn't afford to make any mistake there. Van Himst got Semmeling down the wing, but has to turn it inside because the avenue is blocked off by this eager, busy, covering Mexican midfield machine. Thiessen. Divalka trying to attack, trying to move forward, trying to bring pressure on this efficient Mexican defense. Halen. That's a good one if Semmeling can catch it, but he can't. If you're Belgian here, you get nothing but a whistle for your trouble. And it's a big whistle from a big crowd. Manzola, amongst Mexico's best players on this field today. He's kept Puy quiet and he's pushed up and put pressure on the Belgian defense. Must be a foul there by Van Himst. Padilla collects some advice from his trainer's bench. Padilla, Mungia. Guzman. Mexico not making enough width at the moment. Not enough width to their attack, making the pass difficult. Bazaguren still has it for Mexico, though. Gonzalez got Padilla outside him, loses it to Doc. Away comes Doc. De Vrij outside him on the right. De Vrij gets it. Van Himst moving into the middle with Doc. De Vrij taking on Guzman, and no one succeeded today with that maneuver. All they get is a corner kick. There's Guzman, a strong man in this Mexican defense. De Vrij with the corner, leaving it to Semmeling. The Mexican penalty area packed. Overcomes the corner. Can Belgium get this equalizer they need to begin to believe they can stay here in Mexico? Thiessen has it. Van Himst dummies, Semmeling comes in, let's fly. But again, there was a tackle in, this time from Pulido. But Semmeling hit the shot wide. Again, he was worried and bothered by a brave Mexican man moving in fast on him as he hit that one. It was Pulido in this case. "11 minutes to go. Mexico still a goal up. Augusto running on for Bazaguren. He's strong, he's moving forward. He took 2 men on. Divalka managed to pick it up. Puy. Good little ball, but again Manzola in beautifully and quickly. What a good game he's had at right fullback. Belgian defender hurt there, taking on Bazaguren. That big strong Bazaguren went boring through there. Looks like Jack on the floor there. There it is, Leon Jack playing his 6th game for his country. Not one of his happiest. He was the man who was unfortunate enough to have the penalty awarded against him for what seemed to be a legitimate tackle. Linesman now. Linesman having to order Mexican officials off. They haven't had permission to come on the field and give their players this drink out of this big leather bag. The referee is warning these Mexican officials they must not come onto the pitch without permission. Well, Jack is on his feet. He's recovered. He's got 10 minutes of his 6th international left. His most important to date, because unless Belgium can win this one, they're on their way home. They're leaving their Puebla headquarters tomorrow if they don't win this game for 2 days sightseeing and shopping in Mexico City, and then it's back to Belgium, a disappointed bunch. Thiessen resumes the game with this throw in for Belgium. Good throw indeed to Van Moor, who made space nicely. Van Himst, the schemer. Thiessen. Van Himst would have liked to return ball, hasn't had it yet. Puy gets it. Cutting it in there for De Vrij. Calderon knocks it away. Semmeling still has it. Perez is on him. Look at the way they mark. Semmeling gets away from him nicely. De Vries a chance. A great header there and a marvellous clearance by Guzman. Guzman tangled up in the net. A marvellous save there. His goalkeeper was beaten from De Vries' header. And the stadium rises to Javier Guzman. Watch it. There it is. There goes De Vries' header. Calderon is beaten. And what a marvellous save by Guzman, who hooks it over the bar. Corner kick to Belgium. Unlucky Belgium. No other word for them. A disputed penalty and then to miss a goal like that. Guzman again up there. Bothering Van Moor, got the header in, but straight to Calderon. Dragoso, a lovely ball if Padilla can catch it. Easton gets there first. He was always on for the fullback. Had that extra start and never let it go. Docks. Priest. Oh, wonderful ball to Docks if he can hold off that tackle. But it's Peña there, the Mexico captain, sliding in. No nonsense amongst these Mexico back four men. They don't mind giving away free kicks like this. It is Van Imp. Good ball to Van Moor. And he tricked Munguia beautifully, and a bad shot spoils a good move. Little Wilfred Van Moor there. Well, he can even smile at a moment like this. 6 minutes to go. Perez. Well, putting his team in trouble there. Van Imp. Got something outside of De Vries, inside of De Vries there, pushing, shoving, boring through. He has it. Van Trola, the ever-efficient Van Trola. There, what a nice piece of work by Van Trola. To Perez, to Padilla, the easy way. Pulido. He's had a good game for Mexico, this big, strong, rear defense, rear midfield player. Gonzalez, the advanced midfield player. Padilla, the outside left, having to play it outside right. Wants to get it onto his left foot whenever he can. Gonzalez outside him, slipped over, in goes the hook. Haylands clears. Van Imp has got it. Ivalka making a break ahead of Van Imp. De Vries, he's got a chance to get a shot in here. It's a great shot, just wide. If only Belgium had brought De Vries on earlier, they might not have been behind in this game. He's looked useful. Johan De Vries, leading scorer for Mexico until they came here, but apparently unable to get fit and acclimatise and has played very little part in this competition. Van Moor. 5 minutes left for Belgium to try and win the game. 5 minutes for Mexico to get another goal and definitely finish top of the group. Priest to Van Moor. It's been a lot of Belgian pressure in the second half. They've been somewhat unfortunate not to at least equalise. Van Moor. Semmeling. Trying to find Haylands, but too ambitious a pass. Bazaguren is away on that one. Jack covering across. Bazaguren taking on Jack. Hasn't got enough pace, but he's still got the ball. Finally, Jack wins it. Van Moor. Semmeling. He's got Van Imp down the line ahead of him. He's got Van Moor inside him. Which is he going to give it to? Van Imp comes to collect it. Munguia robs him. Throw in to Belgium. Must be a throw in to Belgium. Van Moor. The middle close is a little tight. Perez has got the extra start there. Guzman, no trouble. Back to Perez. The one down the line for Bazaguren is not there. Perez with the throw. He's done good ball control. Wee hasn't really attacked down this left flank enough, perhaps because Van Trola's had such a good game at right fullback for Mexico. Perez, Ungia, Pulido, Van Trola, number 13, had such a good game. Pulido, a very good game too. And he moved back to his normal left flank berth, unable to catch that one. Ethan, Dupuy, Ethan again, Doc. Belgium running out of stamina now. They've slowed down the last few minutes. Their stamina has been a problem for them in this thin air. Their big heavy men have found it difficult to get enough oxygen, and they have tended to fade towards the end of their matches. They won't want to fade now. Maybe their hearts can keep them going because they have another 3 minutes at most to score 2 goals. Ungia. Foul on Gonzalez there by Doc. Indirect free kick to Mexico. That's Doc. Guzman. The man who saved Mexico just now with that miraculous goal line save. And Mexico doesn't look as though they're looking for that second goal. It seems a little unambitious. They're obviously taking first things first, and a draw will qualify them, so one would have thought that 1 goal up, with a draw good enough to qualify, they would go for the second goal to get the right to play their quarterfinal here in Azteca instead of moving to Toluca. Docs harried and chased by 3 Mexicans. Perez. Divalka. Nicky Divalka, who's played in every game in this competition for Belgium and hasn't done badly at all. Van Moor, a disappointment overall. Van just about a pass mark in this competition for Belgium, no more. Found it difficult to break free in dangerous space near goal. With this squeeze. And up goes Guzman. Demling. Van Moor. Feeding Padilla nicely. Guzman again blocking the shot. A good little cross there by Van Moor. What a good one it was, under pressure. Eason. Van Moor, Padilla, Hayland, George Hayland, Semmeling. Belgium crowding on all sails. We come into the last minute now. Van Trola clearing it. Eason. Gonzalez. Good ball there. Away comes Padilla. Valzagurin. Padilla moves into the box. Here comes the centre. Alagoso's in the box. Munguia's got it. Does a nice dummy. Blocked off there by Hayland. Czech's got it. Inside the docks. Away come Belgium. The official time is now up. Different. Semmeling. Can Belgium pull this match out of the fire? They'll have to be very quick about it. They've got to get 2 goals in just about a minute or so of the considerable amount of time, perhaps more than a minute, because there's been a lot of hold-ups in this game. There's the crowd, the big happy Mexico crowd, delighted at this situation. The chants are booming out. They're getting ready for the big fiesta tonight. Mexico about to qualify for the first time ever for the last stage of the World Cup. Guzman there, the outstanding player for Mexico today. Pulido. Well, Mexico really playing for time now. Gonzalez won't get the vital second goal with that sort of shot, but he's had a good game in this advanced midfield role. 2 minutes now, over full time, can't be long to go. Mexico City about to burst into celebration into the night. Gonzalez, and again, Pulido plays it back to his goalkeeper. The flags are waving, people are standing, shouting, cheering, as Padilla comes down the wing now as we go into what must be the last minute or so of this game. Fragoso, Munguia, Mexico playing this all about confidently. Gonzalez, Peña the captain, Pulido. Well, there he goes from inside his own half. He passes back to his own goalkeeper. And you can't get a longer pass back than that. Vanzola. Padilla, Mexico playing beautiful possession football at the moment. That must have been half a dozen passes they've strung together. They've lost it now. Away comes Square. Good ball to the Brits. Peña will get it. In goes the tackle. Marvellous tackle. Keeps the ball in play. Not quite. Throw into Belgium. We with the throw. By my watch now, up to 4 minutes past normal time. Eason. Belmore. Belgium. Time in Mexico City as official World Cup contenders running out. The whistle's gone, and the final score, Mexico 1, Belgium 0. Well, this is a match which means that Mexico qualify for the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time ever. And there's no better time to qualify than when you're staging the World Cup itself. And you can see this stadium erupting now, and I can tell you that Mexico City tonight will be one long fiesta. This will be the night that Mexico celebrates its greatest ever football achievement. For some teams to reach the quarterfinals may not seem very much, but for Mexico, it's the biggest thing ever. But they've had their luck in this game. After 16 minutes, they had a penalty beautifully converted by their captain, Peña. But was it a captain? Was it a penalty? That'll be the question Belgium will always say a no to, and a question that Mexico will say a yes to. Valdivia hit the post with a good shot, so Mexico almost had a good second goal, but it's unlucky Belgium, also because Guzman, the best player in the Mexico team, pulled off that marvellous clearance on the line when his goalkeeper was beaten. So there it is, a final score, the score that all Mexico wanted, not the score of 2-0, which would have given them complete domination and leadership of this group, but a win for Mexico by 1-0. And goodbye from Azteca.